Hello, my name is Rob, and in this video I'm going to turn this into bread. Hello, my name is Rob and welcome to Rob's Randoms, a channel where I do whatever I want, and in this video it's a cooking video and I'm going to make some banana bread. So in a recent Too Good To Go bag I got a bunch of bananas. As you can see, they are very ripe and I'm going to turn them into some banana bread. The recipe I'm following today is from Handle the Heat. There is a link in the description, although I may slightly veer from that recipe in some places. So the first thing you need to do whenever you make any recipe is to put the kettle on so you can make a hot drink while you're making the thing. So I'm going to do that. There we go, right, I've got a coffee, now I can start baking. So for this recipe we will need 250 grams of plain flour, 100 grams of granulated sugar, 100 grams of light brown sugar, a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, salt, ripe bananas, 60 grams of plain yogurt, 2 eggs, 40 grams of unsalted butter, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 150 grams of chopped walnuts and chocolate chips. So the great thing about this recipe is that basically you get the wet stuff and you get the dry stuff and you put them together and then you put that in the oven and you're done. So we're going to start with that by putting the dry stuff in this bowl. So that is the flour, the sugars, the baking soda, or I've got bicarbonate of soda, and the seasonings, basically. So let's do that. So you want 250 grams of plain flour. The reason I put it in a small bowl first is so that we can put it in a sieve before it goes in the main bowl. Sieving is like a really important thing to do when baking because it stops lumps, I think. Next up we want 100 grams each of granulated and soft brown sugar. Right, 100 grams of that. Leave that there. There you go, 100 grams each of those. We want some salt. I know it's a weird thing, salt supposedly brings out the sweetness in these kinds of things. I should do a taste test at some point to see if that's actually true. Next we want about half a teaspoon of ground sweet cinnamon. I'm just going to eyeball that. That's probably more than I need, but I like my seasonings, I like things to be strong. And then we want baking soda. I've got bicarbonate of soda, which I think is vaguely the same kind of thing. I've never heard of this before. I seriously bought this because I really like the style of the tin. I want 3/4 of a teaspoon of this, which again I'm going to sift. That's probably about right. So all of that just wants whisking together a little bit so it's all combined. Do you know what? I'm also going to add a little bit of mixed spice. I feel like this is something that would work well in this. So say half a teaspoon of that. Right, there's the dries. Now we need the wets. So let's start with the bananas. So I need to peel all 4 bananas, put them in here and mash them up. So these are perfect for baking because they've gone black, which doesn't mean rotten, it just means extra ripe, which means it may not be as nice to eat because they'll feel mushy, but they'll be extra sweet. Oh, that's very black. Wow, yeah, that's very soft. So these are the bananas and they need mashing up. There we go. Next up, very important step, is stopping to have a drink of coffee. Next up we want 2 eggs beat into this. See if I can crack these without it going everywhere and getting shell in everything. Oops, well, got egg on the counter, but come clean that up. Just put that together. And mix that with the banana. So next up we want 60 grams of this yogurt. 74 is close enough. Three tablespoons of vegetable oil that I am just going to eyeball. It's probably about right. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, which again I'm just going to eyeball. So for that, I feel like I always underdo it on the vanilla extract, so I'll put a bit more in there. Again, I want this to have a really strong flavour. Now about 40 grams of unsalted butter, which is not melted, so I need to do that in the microwave, so hold on. What's 40 grams? That maybe? 53, good enough. Seriously, precision baking, not my thing. There we go, some nice melted butter. So now we want to gently mind you, fold this into this. Or wouldn't it be easier to fold this into this? Because this is a wider thing. Yeah, let's do that. There we go, so now I'm going to add the chocolate chips. I'm not even going to measure this, I'm just going to use some of this. And most of these pecan halves, I know I said walnuts earlier, I've got pecans, I like pecans, so we're going to put pecans in it. I don't need to cut these up or anything, I can just rip them apart and put them in there. Right, so this is our banana bread batter. That's hard to say. So now I need to preheat the oven to a temperature, grease a loaf pan, and then we'll put this in. Right, so here is the finished banana bread. It looks amazing, and I have to leave this for a very long time to cool down before we can actually eat it, but it looks and smells brilliant, and I'm really excited for this. Okay, so here it is. This is the finished banana bread. As you can see, it's a little bit stodgy at the bottom. I don't think we baked it for quite long enough, but I'm not complaining. It still looks really good. So I'm just going to take this big old slice here and we'll give it a try. Oh, it's wonderful. Okay, so it is a little bit stodgy, but weirdly it's not very banana-y. You can taste a lot of the cinnamon and the mixed spice. You could definitely taste that in there. I'm so glad I put the chocolate in and the nuts. That is... I mean, I genuinely don't care that the bottom bit isn't cooked well enough because it's cooked enough for me. I'm going to eat it. This is genuinely really good. So the whole point of this video was, here's something I can make with the Too Good To Go food that would have been thrown out otherwise. I think I've made a pretty good banana bread here. I'm definitely going to eat all of this. Even if it is a little bit stodgy, I could probably do better next time, but this is in no way a failure. I've really enjoyed making this. I really enjoyed eating it. It's been a success. So, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, if you've enjoyed it, please do click like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. My name is Rob, and I will see you in another random video very soon.